As we know in Borderlands 3, there are so many amazing weapons, and based off of your build and what your playstyle is, what Vault Hunter you're using, and what you're going for, there are plenty of weapons that are completely viable. Today's video, I wanted to go over one of the most insane and arguably the best weapons in Borderlands 3. Now, obviously, it depends on what you're going for, what content you're doing, as well as what build you have, but overall, at its base, this weapon is one of, if not the best and highest DPS weapons in the title. And what we're talking about is a yellow cake rocket launcher. Now, it's often considered one of the best, if not the best weapons in Borderlands, especially during certain periods of the game's life cycle due to combinations of damage output, mechanics, and scaling potential. Now, it does have an insanely high damage ceiling. Yellow cake fires a projectile that splits into multiple child projectiles after a short distance. Each of these projectiles can hit the same target, massively increasing single target DPS. When properly boosted by mayhem scaling, splash bonuses, or Moe's skills overall, it can delete bosses and mobs alike in seconds. Now, at its core, it is a radiation elemental weapon, and it has massive AoE capabilities. And as we know with radiation, it spreads via its radiation explosion when enemies die. It's highly effective for mobbing, especially against flesh and clustered enemies, and can cause chain reactions when enemies explode overall. It is more effective with splash and launcher builds, but it can be versatile across the board with any Vault Hunter and any build. But it does synergize incredibly well with characters who benefit from splash damage, especially Moe's and her Demolition Woman tree, her splash boosts and ammo regen, as well as Zane with splash boosts and clone setups. It can be boosted with class mods, artifacts, and anointments that amplify launcher or splash damage, just like most things in the title. Now, originally when it did launch, it was first introduced during the Revenge of the Cartels event. The yellow cake was infamously overtuned, and it benefited from mayhem scaling in a completely unusual way that the game did not intended it to be. The output damage far exceeded most other weapons in the title at the time, and even after numerous nerfs, it still remained extremely powerful for mobbing and bossing. Another reason why it's a great weapon is ease of use. It doesn't require pinpoint accuracy. You can just fire in general directions and let the splash damage projectiles handle the rest. Whether you're doing single target damage or you're trying to take out mobs, it is very effective even in less optimized builds. It does have some of its downsides, just like most guns in the game. It is less effective in tight quarters. As the projectiles split, they do miss their targets. It's not great against heavily armored or shielded enemies due to the radiation limitations and more effectiveness against flesh. In post-nerf, it's not as dominant, but it is still very strong with the right build. Now, like I said before, the yellow cake is a legendary rocket launcher manufactured by the COV, and it was introduced with the Revenge of the Cartels and is only obtainable from Fish Slap, Smalums, and Joey Ultraviolet. It comes with a plus 75% weapon damage, which is always radiation. It does fire a slow-moving orb that travels a short distance before exploding, splitting into smaller orbs. Secondary orbs explode and split into 2 projectiles each that drop on the ground and explode even further. So the general DPS of it overall, as well as taking each projectile as it splits numerous times over and combining that with specific builds, damage output for this weapon was absolutely insane. Also, the way the weapon looks and performs is absolutely beautiful. It's one of my favorite weapons in terms of style. It reminds me of Lucian's Call and Rowan's Call in the way that there's like this creature on the front of it and it's kind of moving around. I do like when Borderlands has weapons like this where it's, super unique in the way it looks, and I do think legendaries across the board should be like this. More legendaries like this should appear in Borderlands 4, in my opinion, where not only are we getting a boosted weapon where the damage output, we're getting the special red text and special characteristics, but I also think the visual representation of the weapon should also showcase the fact that it is a legendary. And just like Rowan's Call, the yellow cake performs in all of these fronts. If you guys have not tested it out, I highly recommend it. As we're gearing up for Borderlands 4, I just want to talk about some classic weapons from Borderlands 3 and just go over some awesome ones that I've liked along the way and ones that maybe you guys haven't tried fully. And again, guys, you do not have to have an optimized build for this. Obviously, just like anything in Borderlands, the more your build's optimized for the specific weapon, shield, grenade, or whatever you're using, it's just going to perform better across the board. But it is still a fun weapon to use. Go to the Slaughter Shaft 3000 because all those enemies are flesh based, and just test out the yellow cake because it's absolutely insane. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know of other weapons you guys have loved using along Borderlands 3's life cycle. I'm super excited for Borderlands 4. We're gearing up to make so much content. If you guys are into all things Borderlands, it's what we cover here on the channel. If you guys enjoyed the video, drop a like on it and subscribe, as we are so close to 10,000 subscribers. I appreciate every single one of you guys, and as always, stay happy, stay hyped, and good luck looting.